We're recording.
We are recording. We are live. We are live!
How do you? Where does it save to?
Well, it saves to my hard drive, so I'm going to have to send it to you.
Or you're just back to being the editor,
Yeah, that could be. I could probably do
editor
that.
in chief?
Editor and chef.
Yeah.
I could probably get that going. Just have to get another
Mac
program.
Mac just makes it so much easier. You could just, I mean, $200, you can get a Mac that works fine.
Yeah, but there's a something between me and that.
Yeah.
I don't have an extra, a few $100s laying around to spend on a computer I don't really need.
You can just find one.
I just find one. Who am I, Jeremiah Masoli?
I found one.
Well, that will happen.
That will happen.
Where is this fucking guy?
Well, of the three of us, he's gonna be the last one to figure it out.
That's fair. I mean, it feels like I right now I feel like Ryan Howard watching Michael Scott install PowerPoint.
All right, so first of all, you're going to click on PowerPoint. It's going to say, Welcome to PowerPoint.
7 to 12 minutes, so it should take about 5 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Wow,
Got a
Dave,
picture.
it's his computer being a piece of shit.
Use your phone.
Use yo ass.
There is an app.
Oh boy, is there.
And also use your Xbox.
Yeah. Problem solved, David.
Use your Xbox and an external camera. Not Azkaban prison. Can you hear my Harry Potters?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, Harry needs to be quieter then.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Get out of my house. So speaking of houses, one of the things before we got on here, went over there with a notebook that showed what our bills are because I've been paying them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is almost $1,500 in bills that you haven't had to pay.
Yeah, basically.
uh, like we've been paying your water bill and your electric bill and your garbage bill uh, and we get just about enough from rent from those guys to cover everybody's bills. But that leaves more to be needed.
Yeah.
So I said my plan is to clean out this house and build the mini house in the backyard, rent this out. Then I have income and don't have to do anything. Then after I thought of that, I thought, wouldn't it be easier to clean out that house and rent out that yard, which is much bigger, and make more money? And you guys move here and I still build my little house and then we don't have to refence things.
Yeah.
So now Heidi's thinking about that because she was like, huh, I hadn't considered that because I like it here. And I'm like, yeah, but you could like it there.
Yeah,
She's
you
like,
you
well,
could like it over there.
I'd have to get a queen size bed instead of my king size bed. And I'm like, I don't think you would because you don't realize that my dad had about this much space next to the wall that was just shit
Yeah.
that I've cleaned out.
What's
So a
more,
king size bed would fit.
and what's more, what do you need a king size bed for yourself for?
Right.
I've always accepted the queen size bed as the size of bed for a person.
Yeah, you get a king size, and it's like you're ready for outdoor activities as well.
Right. Like like Jen and I should probably have a king size bed,
Yeah.
but we also live in an apartment, so we share a queen. And like she made fun of me.
I
She made fun of me at one point
yeah.
because she's like, "Oh, you made some. You always wanted to snuggle." I'm like, "No, I also realize that we live in places that we can't. We can have a king size bed, but you know what else we can have in that bedroom? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
This
Like
fucking
I could fit a king in my room, and I know if I can fit one, then she can fit one in that room because that room is bigger than mine.
yeah. Again, yours will fit a king,
Yeah. But
and then you'll be
then
sidestepping off the foot of the bed.
yeah. Well, the mega bed is not designed for a king size bed. It was designed for a queen size bed.
Fair enough,
So, I mean, I could have, but I
dude.
like the queen.
I don't know what it is. I love the bottom of the mega bed.
Dude, it's got so much stuff in it right
No,
now.
I know. Like it's been packed full of shit since the last time I used it.
Yeah.
But like it's so like just dark. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's almost like a sensory deprivation chamber.
It's yeah, it's perfect for sleeping. And then like because you'll lay there, you're on your phone, you're dicking around for a little bit, and then you turn your phone off, and you're just like, oh,
It's dark.
now it's dark.
It's like camping.
I was actually about to mention that like when I go out and I do like rendezvous with my dad and shit, like you're basically
Uh,
just unless you're having a campfire party, like nighttime is bedtime.
yeah.
You're like, all right, well, sun's down. Guess I'll go the fuck to sleep.
I'm gonna grab some indoor appropriate sunglasses.
All right.
I and I have so many pairs. Let's go with these. Are these ones good? Yeah, these are okay. I like these. Ah,
All right, man. Are you ready for a good ass show?
uh, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How do I can't do it?
Yeah.
There it is. I got up there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
All right, here we are. We're back again. It's another edition. It's another episode of my show, and I'm sure he'll be here soon enough. Dave is trying to make technology work, and he's bad at it. They just introduced computers to the islands, so for him this is all new technology. So hopefully Dave will be with us soon. Speaking of new technology, we're now on Discord, so you can see all the wrinkles in my face and just how bald I am. Answer: very. But it would not be the show we know, the show we love, and the show it is today without the man, the myth, the legend, the man behind the sauce, the juice, the squeeze, if you will. It's Robin.
I am Mr. Squeeze. That is my official nickname.
Mr.
Uh,
Squeeze.
Go ahead and just write that down for
Yep.
those of you taking notes at home. I am Robin, and normally I would have been introduced by somebody giving some sort of odd explanation. Instead, I'm bringing it back around because that's what I normally do to the hoop snake known as Jake.
Is me one take Jake back in the saddle again? It's a little. It's weird going back to a 2-man booth. We've been doing a 3-man show for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about until and if Dave gets here.
Oh, yeah, there's stuff.
'Cause we got positive stuff and we got some other stuff. But
Well, I'm going to just kick it off by saying when you started it, I was like, oh, I don't have to go change channels.
oof,
Like, so many little things.
yeah,
I mentioned to my sister when I was over there talking about bills earlier, I was like, I mean, I just got fired from my job because I couldn't make somebody eat.
yeah, wow.
That, I mean, yeah.
Wow, when that fucking perspective, holy shit.
So you guys remember 3 months ago, Valentine's Day, my dad passed away.
Oregon's birthday, ironically.
That sucked. Saturday, I made dinner, checked on my mom, ate my dinner, checked on my mom again. She was no longer there. I mean, her body was there, but spirit was gone. That, man, I don't know which hurts more. I think it's the fact that it's the last parent that that makes it that much tougher. And like even though I was taking care of everything that normally my parents would take care of, now it is officially on me. Like it's not just like the hand to the king or queen. It is now I'm the guy.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you kind of touched on something there. It's something I've been going through with therapy. Is they talk about how the relationship we have with our mother is the most important and closest and first relationship that we have. And so,
Mhm.
regardless of how close you and your father become, the relationship that people have with their mothers is always the first and primary relationship. Because, I mean, literally, you spend the first several months of your consciousness living inside this other person. So, like,
Right.
it stands to reason that this would impact you more. And also, in a way, you could kind of see it happening almost.
Yeah.
I know that when your dad passed, it was a real shock, and so there wasn't like you didn't have the ability to build up this. Well, this is coming. This is going to happen. In my opinion, and I could be talking
Right.
completely out of my ass here. I don't know, but you could kind of see your mom heading toward the finish line, and I think that, in my opinion, would make it
Uh,
more difficult.
See, and I thought it would make it easier because up until the Monday, dad passed on Friday. Up until that Monday, I hadn't considered him passing before my mom. I had just assumed because her health had gone down and she weighed like 80 pounds, and I just assumed that she would go first, and she didn't. She just kept doing the same thing, which apparently at homeostasis, like it was there until those levels said, yeah, you can't live like that anymore.
Yeah,
And couldn't. Whereas dad, he was sick and was hiding it, maybe to himself even.
yeah,
And going back through papers, I figured out that he'd known he was sick, whether he'd read through the same things and understood that that meant he was sick
he had been made aware.
to some degree. He knew something wasn't right. And that was why he was getting more tests and this and that. And I think the level to which he was sick, for lack of a better term, sent him into a tenseness and tightness in the chest that caused him to have a heart attack.
Yeah,
So it was almost like he couldn't take it, thinking, and this is just my opinion because I can't ask him, but knowing that he couldn't take care of my mom and couldn't take care of the rest of the family, I think that partially is what gave him the heart attack.
yeah. Well, they talk about the heartstrings are a real thing. There
Yeah.
there are two actual what they look like strings inside your heart, and when those break, you can literally die from a broken heart
Yeah.
if your heartstrings get tugged on too hard. It's one of the strange things about our body. And forgive me, people who are watching on the internet. I'm trying to add Dave to the old chat here, and it's requiring me to go into my Discord. If I had two screens, this would be so much easier.
Yeah.
But what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan?
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys.
Well,
Uh,
I am sorry to hear about your mom. Oh, now I got a new notification from Discord. It's probably Dave, and it's one of those deals, man. It's like I haven't ever experienced it, so it's really difficult to try to empathize. But
yeah.
I certainly feel your pain.
Yeah, and one of the things that was interesting that I've noticed is people have said, "Well, your mom couldn't take being away from your dad," and to counter that with, she didn't remember.
Right.
Like, she couldn't remember that he was gone. But at the same time, I think maybe, yeah, you could have been right because maybe the accumulation of him not being there
And the
was,
well, yeah, and also keep in mind too that every time, in her mind, every time that she found out that he wasn't there was a shock.
right.
And we've been joining, and here he is.
Jesus fuck.
So,
Turn your phone sideways.
yeah, turn it sideways, dick cheese.
That motherfucker
Sideways.
sideways.
Hey, there we go.
Damn
Hey.
it, fucking technology.
Yes, I love technology.
Technologia. Technologia. Yeah.
Hey.
So welcome, Dave. We're just talking about Robin's parents dying. So you picked a good time to
Yeah.
join us.
Yeah.
If you are in fact joining us.
Big ol' sir.
Oh man.
Robin, the funniest part about your shirt is the place where the microphone is it just says ass when you sit back. Well, now it says ras.
Ass.
There it is, ass. Yeah, the ass is always greener in Eugene.
Yeah. It is. It is what it is. The ass be assin'
The ass be assin'.
is the name of the episode.
Yeah, write that down. That's a good one. Right as Dave got here. So what's up with you, Dave? How are you? Both parents still alive?
They're loud and kicking.
I can verify that they are both alive because I saw them.
I can verify that at least one of my parents are alive. The other one, not so sure.
I gave Dave's dad a pair of shorts, which he promptly put on because he had none.
He wore shorts because he had none. Wait, so
You just walk around.
there's a Deaton man without
around the
shorts?
house.
Was he not wearing pants? Was he walking around in his underwear, or was he trying to?
He had like a undershirt and underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Is it underwear if it's not underwear?
He's wearing the undergarments.
I mean, that's the name of it. So
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, a bitch is a bitch, even if she's nice.
yeah.
That's fair. That's also fair. So now we've got two of us who
Dude.
can ask this question. Dave, your internet is the fucking worst. Just go on 5G and stop using your Wi-Fi.
Are you on? Are you on the Wi-Fi?
I was on one of them.
Well, don't.
Yeah.
Don't be. Wi-Fi is the worst.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's for computers. It's not for phones. It's for computers.
Yeah.
My catalog of pornography on my phone would beg to differ.
Hey. Well, just don't get your phone rated. But so now there's two of us now who've watched the rehearsal. Have you watched it, Dave?
Huh.
I have not.
Oh well, you know the rules of the
If
show.
Jake's seen it, I should have seen it.
If Jake's seen it, you should have seen it too. I'm into season 2.
That's-
Like I started watching season 2 today.
That show is something.
It's like
I've just realized that my TV watching in general is not happening over the last few months.
oh yeah.
because I turn the TV on, sit
Turn
down to
TV
eat my
on.
meal,
TV off.
and then I finish my food, and then I'm like 10 minutes into the show, and I'm like, I don't feel like sitting here.
I should play some NCAA.
Yeah, I should do something
Yeah.
else. Instead of sitting
Yeah.
here, I should sit over there.
Hmm.
This is my television viewing spot. I need to move into the gamer spot.
Yeah.
No, but it's yeah. He says it's a comedy show, and there are definitely moments when you laugh.
Yeah.
But I don't even know how to classify it.
I would say it's more of a social experiment with a hint of comedy.
Yeah, and
Or comedy-based social experiments.
I like that. And I said, dude, that picture I sent. The first time I saw that, I was trying to watch it because I'd watched it on Max. I didn't realize I thought I watched it on Apple, and so I
Yeah.
went back to Apple TV, and it was like $2.99 an episode. I'm like, fuck you, Nathan Scott Phillips or whatever your fucking name is. And so I'm scrolling through, and I go to look, and then it just has director, writer, producer, and main
Yeah.
actor. And it's just the same fucking autism face in all four pictures. It's like, and,
Yeah.
dude,
It's just tisming all over the place.
seriously, and that was the first thing I realized. Like, I've texted Robin a few times when I'm talking about the show, but I'm like, this guy's definitely autistic, right? Like,
Yeah.
and there's a moment in the first season where he's like, I started to realize that I couldn't simulate for the feelings people might feel in these moments. I'm like, how can you simulate for feelings at all?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that
Yeah, it's-
with the rewatch of Dexter I've been doing over the last 2 months, as I'm watching Dexter, I was like, if this show was made today, everyone would just be like, "Oh, don't worry, Dexter's on the spectrum." That's what they would do the entire show. Anytime
You could
they're like,
also
they're
do
like,
the
"Why
name
is your
of the
brother
episode.
weird?"
Dexter on the
Spectrum.
spectrum.
That's too close to speculum, and you don't want a
Yeah.
speculum
Nah, you don't
Or
want.
do
No,
unless you do.
unless you're into that.
Unless
Some
you-
people pay
yeah.
extra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've heard.
But so the show starts, and he helps this guy, like Robin talked about this in a previous episode. Basically, tell everybody he'd been lying about having a master's degree, and that was an interesting little thing. What I thought was really interesting is at the very like one of the things that drives me crazy is how oblivious are people. Like to
Huh?
like
Very.
like to the point like I've seen some clips from Undercover Boss, right?
Yeah.
I look at the costumes that these people choose to wear to go on Undercover Boss. Like you're not that wig ain't fooling me. Like those pubes on your chin ain't fooling me. I know what a beard looks like. I have one. So when I look at your scraggly shit, that looks fake as hell. Like how are people falling for this? And then like he's trying to inception the answers to the trivia questions into this dude's head, and he's like, "Wow, that's a really tall building," and then the guy who's supposedly doing the oh god, what's the word for it? Surveying. He's like, yeah, it's a tall building, but it's not the tallest in the world. That's in Dubai. It's the fucking whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Burj Khalifa.
But yeah, the Burj Khalifa. That's in Dubai. And he's like, huh, that's interesting. He's like, if you ever need to get in this building, 1789. That was the year of the French Revolution. And it's
Right.
so I'm like, how unaware of what's happening do you have? Like, is incepting an idea a lot easier than the movie led us to believe?
I think he picked the
No, it's
guy
called
more on the
gaslighting.
spectrum.
Yes, Dave. Also, yes. But you
Also, yes.
you may not be far off there because yeah, that guy definitely seemed like, and also when the lie came out, he's like, yeah, I don't have a master's degree. I assumed he was like me and didn't have anything. He's like, oh, I have a bachelor's degree. And the lady's like, well, that's pretty fucking good, man. Like, there's not a lot of people
Yeah.
that don't
Yeah.
have that. Like, there's a lot of people that don't have a high school diploma. And he's like,
I feel like that's more of a fib than a lie. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
well, it's
Like,
more of something that he went along with. Like, someone said that he had a
Yeah.
master's and he didn't correct them. So,
Yeah, right. If I don't correct you, that's not my fault.
right. And so at the very end of all this, the director comes up to him, the guy who's running the whole show, and he's like, "Hey, just want to let you know that I basically put the answers in your brain for you, so you could get
Dude,
them
he
all."
was so
And he's
mad.
like, "You're an awful, awful person. Like you've
Right.
ruined this. Like you made this a fraud. Like this nothing counts. Nothing matters. You did an awful thing here today." And then
Yeah. Like,
Nathan looks at me. He's like, "I really think you're a great guy." And the dude bursts into tears. It's like, but I'm like, wow,
uh,
that works. Like if someone insults you, just be nice to them, and they fucking fall apart.
yeah.
But then
That
to
show is so weird.
and then to follow it up, like everything that happens in it, like the pattern of events, none of them make any sense.
Right.
So then he gets this, which like I'm starting to wonder. Have you finished it? Have you finished season 2?
No.
Okay. So my theory, I'm starting to wonder if all of this is just a rehearsal for making a TV show.
Could be. That would make sense.
Because like so much of it is like, oh, I went to talk to this guy and then he ghosted me.
Yeah.
And then I had to bring my kid into work, and then this, and now, and this, the experiment stopped being about the people he was doing the experiment on, and the experiment became about him.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to wonder, like, I had that thought today. I was like, is he doing a rehearsal of making a TV show?
He's Truman showing himself.
Yes, I think that's
Kind
what he's
of.
doing.
Yeah.
Because, like,
It's just so weird and interesting. Like it's you.
There's a lot of trains for some reason.
It's hard to describe the show too because every episode is very different, but at the same time they're all connected because he never stops. He's like he gets obsessed with something. It seems
right.
like. And
Hyper
then
focused is the term.
right, hyper focused. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a room full of hyperfixations that lasted for several
Uh-huh.
weeks. But yeah, it's so the big experiment in the first one is he gets this lady who wants to have a family. But so they go like every 2 weeks they like age up the kid from like 3 to 6 to 9, 12, 15, 18, so on and so forth. And he had to go to California to go do something, and when he gets back, like his son has aged from 3 or from 6 to 15.
Right.
And so he gets back and he's like, "Hey, I'm back." And the kid's like, "Oh, hey dad. How you doing? Can I get a hug?" He's like, "Okay, that's great, but like I've been gone for 9 years."
Yeah.
Like keep in mind I've been gone for 9 years. And then they like
Maybe.
simulate an overdose with the kid,
Right.
which was fucking intense. And they're like why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah. It's just weird.
And then like at one point he goes and finds his son at the playground drinking booze with his degenerate friends, and the 15-year-old goes down the slide and a 6-year-old pops out so he can start over and try again.
Yeah.
But then
It's
that
so weird.
but then that kid imprints on him
Yeah.
and like starts calling him daddy and shit. And because his mom isn't married, and so this whole time he's like convinced that Nathan Fielder is his dad. And so they have to like go and mentally break the kid of calling this guy daddy. It's it's pretty fucking intense. And like it was one of the questions that I had when it was happening, like what is this doing to these children
Right.
who are
Fucking them up in for the sake of art.
right, they're like, "Hey, you're Adam now for the next 2 weeks. Your name is Adam, and this is your mommy, and this is your daddy." Okay.
And then he's on the
Okay.
Disney Channel doing coke off the producer's dick.
Well, it was something I was talking about earlier
Uh.
today about child actors. How, and this was I wasn't the one who said this; it was said to me. But when the show ends, it's like they lose an entire other family, and
Yeah.
they lose their sense of security, and they go off the deep end because of that. I was like, huh,
Hmm.
that's really, I had never thought about it that way.
Well, I
The
mean,
the
that
big
happens in real life
difference
to
in
adults too.
yeah. The big
Divorce or
difference though
anything, you just lose your mind.
in this show is that they're in a real house, living in the real world. It's not a set.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, there's cameras around, but I mean, it just you're playing with weird things, lack of a better term.
Yeah, every like you're firing live rounds is what you're doing in a test
Yeah.
environment. That's probably
Yeah.
the best way to describe the show is this dude fires live rounds in a test environment. Which like now like I'm in the episode where they're talking to the air traffic controller guy, and like I'm not sure, like I'm sitting here and I'm waiting now after watching season 1. I'm like, okay, well, where's Angela? Where's the crazy bitch who's going to make this whole season chaos?
Yeah, she was fucking crazy. God damn.
Like I come from a very fundamentalist family. Like I think you guys have heard me refer to my family as Shiite Christians from time to time.
Yeah.
This lady made my family look like fucking pagans, dude.
She yeah. She
Like
seemed very Portlandia.
that's a great way to put it. She was like she was,
Or the arcade.
and that's kind of where I'm like, is this show just made up? Because there comes a time where they're having an argument and it looks and it feels like a real argument and they're screaming at each
Yeah.
other, and like she's pulling no punches.
Yeah.
She's like, you will never feel anything, Nathan. You will never feel anything. I'm like, that's some cold shit to say to somebody
Yeah.
who knows that they're having issues with feeling. And then he's like, okay, that was really good. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, and then yeah, exactly. Oh, it's just a weird fucking concept.
And then like the whole conclusion of season, and like Dave, we can say this because you're not going to retain any of it because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
So the entire final episode, he's like trying to step into the role of the mother who allowed her son to be his son for the experiment, and he puts himself in her role and has like these special mirrors where he sees himself as a woman when he looks in the mirror. And like at the very end, he's having this conversation with the kid. He's like, blah blah blah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and it's because I'm your dad. And he's like, you mean you're my mom? And he's like, no, I'm your dad. And I was like, okay, well, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah. Nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows.
I will take the "you want to try that again" line next time I have an argument with a significant other.
Like,
Be like, hey, you want to try that again?
that was really good. You want to do that again?
Yeah, it was really good. You want to do that again?
You want to do another take?
Yeah.
I heard one thing. It was girls on TikTok talking to girls on TikTok. It was like, my boyfriend said, quote, I don't want to text argue with you because I'm tired of arguing with the group chat.
Right?
And all the girls are like, wow, we feel incredibly called out right now. And it's like,
You should.
and it's
Mhm.
100% fair. Why does he have to go up against 6 brains? Like, it's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been consuming media at a breakneck pace at this point. I just finished Survivor. It was pretty good.
For Survivor 78,
48, yeah.
maybe on. There we go. I had an 8 right.
You got the 8. You got the 8 right. An Asian would get the 8 right.
Mm-hmm. See, I only got half the number because I'm only half Asian.
But I came to the conclusion that I'm going to send in a tape. I'm actually going to try to see about getting on there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't see why not. You know, I mean, the likelihood of me getting chosen are like 1 in 6 trillion, but like,
All you have to do is lie. I mean, that's what the whole game is.
Yeah, let's come up with a cool story. Like, hi, my name is Jake, and I only have one leg.
I was going with more like I've got 20 years experience working in the woods, but yeah, go ahead.
No, they don't want that. They don't want you. They don't want you to have any sort of woodland experience.
Oh, that's Naked and Afraid. Naked and
Yeah,
Afraid wants the people that claim to know what to do.
there's a show like that. I think it's called Alone. This is Alone, and
That one's intense. I like that one.
dude, I would love that because if you put me somewhere like I've made this joke before. If you put me in a situation by myself with a camera, I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna build my structure that I'm living in, yes, and then I'm going to build a nighttime talk show studio set right next to it. Welcome to the Jake Show. Today we got a bear.
I really like Alone because it's not a game. It's just we're dropping you off in this secluded section of Alaska.
Live.
We'll see you when we see you.
Yeah. Let
Either
us know
you
when
call
you.
us or we'll call you.
Yeah. Let us know when you think you might die. Otherwise, we'll let you know when you win.
And you don't. They don't know when the other contestants drop out.
Yeah. So you're just
So
out in the
like
wilderness.
even if the last two are down and one guy cuts out, they don't. The winner doesn't know he's the winner until he decides to quit.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he could just be chilling out there for 6 months by himself, and they're like, all right, well, go get him. I guess it's like the last guy, the last Japanese soldier in World War II.
Tom Cruise.
No, I'm surprised you don't know about
Oh,
this,
he
Dave.
was. I'm sorry. He
He's
was
the last samurai, right?
Yeah.
I got a movie called The Last on Earth, starring Tom Hanks.
I know about the guy in Guam. Is that the one you're talking about?
That they had to like bring a general out of retirement to go talk to.
I think that's the one. Yeah, where they found him in a bunker in Guam, and he's just like, the war's still on.
He's like, no one told me to go home, so here I am. Like you haven't gotten any commands in 20 years. Like exactly, I'm following command.
Yep.
Like okay, and so
Orders
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Orders haven't changed. I mean, nothing's changed, but
and there's
I
been
haven't
no
talked to anybody.
gunfire for like 20 years. It's weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
Crawls out of his bunker, and there's a resort down on the beach.
there's a ton of white people here.
It's a war resort.
But war resort. But Robin, if you don't know the story, there was we told a lot of it, but they had to bring a Japanese general out of retirement and send him down there to relieve the guy of duty because he would not leave unless he had his general tell him to stand down.
Luckily, his general's
Definitely have
still
heard
alive.
parts of it.
Yeah, luckily he wasn't on the what was that? What's the coral reef that used to be a ship? The Nagasaki. No. Dave, you don't know the big fucking the Yamada.
Yeah, that was
Yamada.
Yamada. Hey, Yamada. Yamada's on the bottom of the ocean, huh? Dave, you know less about World War II Navy than I expected you to.
That fucking coat hanger behind Dave's head
Dude,
keeps messing
thank
with me.
you. Oh my god, it's pissing me off
Because
so
I
much.
keep thinking that it's a shoe, like it's an outline of a Jordan. But I it kept messing with me. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, is he in a Foot Locker? I don't know what's happening.
Dave just comes walking up in a referee's shirt.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you got those in size 10? Nope.
No? Alright. Bet you do online. Man.
Hold on, we got one black guy around here somewhere.
Well, it is Foot
No,
Locker.
I beat him up.
It is Foot Locker.
That's a little inside Roseburg, Oregon joke.
Wait, the one black guy you know? Are we talking about Samson again?
No, this was pre-Samson and his brother. There was like one black kid in all of Roseburg, and he worked at Foot Locker.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. If someone said it, I'd be like, yeah, that's it.
Carmine.
Nope.
Carmichael.
Oh, but he had kids that went to Glendale.
Carson.
Yeah.
Fuck. I can picture him.
Carblanche.
Mhm.
Nah.
Carbuncle.
Oh,
Car-
Carbuncle.
Carmelo.
Yep, that was it.
Yep.
Carl.
Good job, Jake. You found it.
Nailed it. First try. I was just trying to see how many names I could come up with to start with the car sound. Carlos. There we go. His name is
I
Not
know a
at the
few.
table, Carlos.
I know a
Out of
few
the
of them.
table.
Was that Dave?
I said I know a few of them's. Carlos's.
Yeah. Anything else happening in the world this week? I kind of been out of it.
I mean, there's been basketball. There's been some pretty good
Oh,
basketball.
I did see the Pacers game.
Yeah, Halliburton's game tying shot that I looked away from because I was
Dude.
like high bounce. I was like,
It
well,
was
should
it
have just
was
laid it up.
it was awesome because I'm watching the TV and Dave is like in front closer to the TV and he's like he turns around, oh, and I'm still watching. I'm like, oh, and he's like, wait, did that go in? I'm like, it went in.
Yeah,
He's like, son of a bitch!
dude. Nate Nesbitt or whatever.
Naismith.
Halliburton, Nesmith, and then there was another one.
Miles Turner.
No, another shooter. But they were just. It was just like they couldn't miss a three in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
They're like, just let me hit all of these.
They are a closing team.
Prior
Or the
to that game, the teams were 944-0 when leading by more than 7 in the final 3 minutes in a playoff game.
dang. OKC won again tonight.
Well, that series is probably
Sucks to
over.
be the old New York Knickerbockers.
It always sucks to be the Knicks. It always sucks to be the Knicks, dude. Like I've been casually following the Knicks since the early 90s, since as soon as I realized what basketball was.
Yeah.
And it always sucks to be a Knicks fan.
I thought they had a chance when they had Ewing and they just never got over the hump.
The finger roll going.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I want to see this Indiana and OKC team. Dude, because OKC kind of plays similar to the Pacers, like where they're just up and down, and the Pacers. I think the Pacers win it.
I'd like that. I've always been.
Depends on how many fouls Shea Alexander gets to draw.
Yeah,
That's
tries
you got to
draw
protect
a
the
foul
MVP,
every
man.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of had a realization, man, Dave. I realized I like a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference because I hated the Jordan Bulls.
Yeah.
So it's like
Makes sense.
I like the Pacers, I like the Pistons, I like the Knicks, I kind of like the Heat, like all these teams that fucking always lost to Jordan, but like I paid super close attention to them because this could be the year that they knock them off. It was never the
Yeah.
year. It's like, who do I like
think
in the
I'm
West?
done
Portland.
watching the Heat.
So is everybody else.
I kind of stopped when Jimmy Buckets was like when he went to Miami. I got excited again about Miami, but now he's gone, and they've got Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero Breeze.
So
But yeah,
I don't know who else is in Miami.
that's pretty much it. Bam Adebayo, I think, is still there.
Yeah.
Udonis Haslam's
He's
like
there.
74 years old, and he's still there.
Mm-hmm. Haslam could have retired twice from the league.
Haslam could be in the Hall of Fame by now if he retired at a regular age.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else is on that team?
Did Bam fall off?
I mean, he's Bam. He's just kind of
He's a good second option.
yeah.
And without a leader, I mean, Jimmy Buckets is also a good second option. So when you got two good second options, you kind of host.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of like watching the Blazers in the early 2000s or late 2000s.
yeah.
So you had a lot of guys like Steve Smith and like Damon Stoudemire was a good point guard, but he wasn't a floor general.
Right.
And then guys like fucking Bonzi Wells.
But what does Portland go after this year in the draft?
I mean, we're 11.
What is it that we need?
Everything.
Jesus.
I mean,
A new owner.
Yeah, that's coming.
that finally.
That's something we can talk about. Finally, the Paul Allen estate has decided to put up the Portland Trailblazers for sale. Notice they haven't put up the Seahawks yet.
Yeah. Well, Phil Knight said he's out.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I got Oregon paying for them.
Yeah, that's enough money to be spending.
Need.
I was legitimately concerned that we were going to lose the Blazers to Kansas City, but apparently the mayor of Kansas City is like, nah, we don't want them. We'll take the Kings or we'll start something new.
Yeah, I never got that one.
That.
So I don't know.
Get what? What do you mean didn't get that one?
I just didn't see that being a realistic possibility of Blazers going to Kansas City.
Well,
It didn't seem
Kansas
like
City
fit.
is super horny for a basketball team.
Yeah, but the league is super horny for Las Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, speaking of Seattle, I was going to bring up, like, I wasn't following basketball then, but, like, Oakland getting a team. Like,
that's what Golden State is.
Not Oakland,
Yeah.
the Thunder.
Yeah, they took the fucking Oklahoma City.
When they,
the
Oklahoma
Sonics
City.
died because of Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah. That's for real. So okay, if Seattle gets an expansion team, do they get all their old records back, or
Yes,
are they
they do.
just the new?
No, they get all the records back. That is part of the. I have looked this up, so I have looked this. Yeah, they get all the records back.
OKC's records are just from when they started being a franchise.
Yep. So they would lose claim to the '78 championship.
Good.
Yeah, because that belongs here. One of my coworkers brought me a coffee cup with super.
I could do that too.
Oh, hey, look, I'm Dave.
I don't have my phone plugged in, so I wanted to make sure my battery wasn't almost about to die.
You're about to die. But he brought me a coffee cup that was from the '78 NBA Finals. And I'm like, well, this is cool. Now I have a Sprite bottle from the '77 NBA Finals and a coffee cup from the '78 NBA Finals.
I got a new coffee cup. It's got gummy bears.
I half expected it to be Black Santa.
Nope. I think that one is gone somewhere.
Why
Dave
would
Freeze?
Dave Freeze? That's,
No.
Black Santa.
I was doing the Ruthless podcast, and I sent him a picture of my perspective here, and my buddy Levi's like, "Is that a Black Santa mug that I see over there?" I was like, "You're damn right it is."
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he listened to our podcast, he would know.
You know, he should listen. Maybe we say too many fuck words.
Is that not allowed
Well, it's
on
not,
a wrestling podcast?
It's not allowed. He's a good boy. He doesn't use the profanities.
Well, we only use them when they're necessary.
That's fucking true.
Or I want something clipped.
Yeah, don't.
Those are different. Those are different ones.
Yeah, that's
Those are the different words.
yeah. Those are ones we don't say.
And now it's Jake's job, I think, because he's recording. We'll get it figured out. Once we get it figured out, and I start recording, and then I can download it, then we'll do that. But
Yeah, and I got to figure out what's going on with my computer. Like, this whole time we've been recording, like all my desktop icons will like disappear and then come back as just file folders and then reappear as their icon. So something's going on with my computer.
So are you using a Discord app?
Are you using tech
Yeah,
support, my
I'm,
friend?
I'm just using the web browser.
yeah. On my computer, I couldn't even get the web. That picture I sent of my black screen.
Yeah.
That's what kept happening on my computer. So it's got to be
Oh.
my laptop's got to be messed up.
See, that's why Skype was so much better.
Honestly.
Yeah, Skype just worked. It just worked.
And that's why we've had a delay in the show coming out, is because like we tried to log in last week to make this shit happen, and it just wasn't happening. So we
Teams is like, you want to record? Good luck.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
most difficult interface I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand why it had to be so fucking
Yeah.
difficult. And
Yeah,
we
dude,
I
Skype
think
was so
it's
easy.
because you
Literally
have
just
to
join
pay.
call.
You have to pay to use Teams, and that's why they stopped using Skype, because people would be just like, well, we could just use Skype and then don't have to use Teams.
Where was the first place you ever saw Skype?
Xbox,
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Like the first time, like ever encountered Skype?
I
Sandbox in Bahrain.
guess we did
On
have it on a
deployment.
computer. It was a computer thing, like around the time of MSN Messenger
Yeah.
ending.
I remember
Yeah.
I was at a FedEx. It was a FedEx Kinko's over by Oakway Center in Eugene, and I walk in and there's a dude sitting in front of the computer, and there's one of those enormous, like it was like the size of a tennis ball, like a camera on
Yeah.
top of the monitor,
Yeah.
and the guy's sitting there having a conversation, and it looks like Dave when his internet drops, and they're just having a conversation and everything's well and good. I'm like, what the fuck is happening over there?
Dude, this is the one I got for a desktop, but then I was like, well, if we're just using Discord and not Teams, let's just see if I can use my laptop, which I normally would use, and it works just fine.
Yeah,
So
it's working. It looks nice too, and you're so handsome.
thank you, sir.
And gosh darn it, people like
And
you.
gosh darn it, people like you. You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you.
I took my sunglasses off because it was bugging my eyes even more. Like, I slept probably like 3 hours last night, and then I was gonna take a nap after Dave left, and then I was like, I got stuff to do.
Dude, taking a nap as an adult is like one of those things where when you finally get the opportunity to do it and you actually have time to do it, it's so nice.
Wish I'd have done that.
Yeah, you probably should have done that. I almost
Yeah.
took a nap before the show today. I was fucking tired.
My eyes are feeling it. Like, I've looked at the clock a couple times, and I'm like, I can make this.
You're like 42, 43, 40.
I don't have to drive anywhere.
I had a successful 15-minute power nap. Usually, if I nap during the day, it's too long.
Yeah.
But today I was like, all right, show's at 7:30. I can close my. It's 6:45. Like I can close my eyes. And then I woke up at 6, and I was like, I'll have another.
I'll have another.
Or woke up at 7.
Yeah,
Woke up at 7, and I was like, I'll have another.
Dave moving backwards through time as he sleeps.
Yeah. He's like 6:45, woke up at 6. All right.
Yep.
That's a long nap, Dave.
Yeah, try that.
He inceptioned the nap.
That's
Napception.
like when I didn't
Napception.
when I didn't sleep for 4 days and then missed 3 shifts at work when I was working at the prison.
Right?
Yeah,
And they
that
thought
was
you were
fun.
dead.
Yeah, they all thought like I legit 120 something calls from either local police, Monroe Correctional Complex, not Oregon, Washington State or the county, and then all my neighbors being like, "Why are cops at your house banging on the door?" And I woke up literally the next day and was like, "Well, let me get my uniform on so I can go get fired real quick."
Right. But as is the case in most situations, when you show up as an adult and you're like, "Hey, this is what happened," they're like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's pretty weird. Thanks for letting
I
us
actually
know."
got rewarded. Yeah, I got rewarded for that. Actually, I got my name taken off of the mandatory overtime list. They're like, okay, we're no longer going to tell you when you have to work overtime. I
Like,
was like, cool, because I'm still going to work a ton of overtime like I always do.
yeah, but now
I'm
we
just going to
can't
call
tell
in sick
you.
more often. Yeah. Well, because when I went in there, my very first sergeant that I worked with came to the office with me, and my lieutenant was like, "What the fuck just happened?" He's like, "You don't do this," and I was like, "Hey, so anyways, I was tying my boots, and then I woke up 30 minutes ago." I was like, "I'm tying my boots yesterday, and I woke up 30 minutes ago." He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, can you pull up overtime list?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You just did 4 16-hour shifts in a row." I'm like, "Yeah, so my insomnia hasn't been has been acting up a bit.
So
So
I've
I've
just
just
been
been
making
working."
money instead of sleeping.
Yeah. And he's just like, "Okay." So of course I got a write up for it. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get my job, so I'm fine with that. I was like, "Yeah, do the write up. Like, I'll sign that shit and everything." But then then they made me go see a doctor, which I had already seen a doctor about it, but I had to go get a letter or something to put in my file.
Like, try
And they're
chewing
like, "All
some
right, cool."
valerian root and rub some
Right.
lavender on your feet.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
One thing I've noticed from differences in Skype and Discord is like Skype was much better about allowing more than one voice
Yeah.
talk because it'll like cut off somebody in the middle of talking if you start talking before it's your turn.
Yeah,
Or Skype,
yeah, there we go again. I'm also really good at stopping my words in mid, like right after a syllable too. Yeah, we got a little
right?
practice,
I've had
but
practice, but this
mhm.
like digitally does it.
it's
It's
gonna
like,
it's gonna take some
oh,
adjusting.
you wanted to let him talk? Too bad. We're gonna make you talk now.
Ah,
What?
Right.
but I don't want to be talking. You're the one who's
We'll
talking.
figure it
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, we just figure something out.
I have definitely felt the collision of words between me and Jake more on this than Skype ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's felt different
Yeah, there'll be
doing
a
this.
small learning adjustment, but also
Yeah.
like there's a situation sometimes where you just like if you've ever listened to talk radio and it's the guys who just keep powering through until they get to the fucking period. Sometimes you just got to get to the fucking period. That's what she said.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, and
Periods.
um, hopefully the period comes.
It's every guy's everyone's favorite day. Well, with Father's Day rapidly approaching.
Aw.
Oh, oh, my bad,
Mm.
dude.
Double whammy.
Oh, I got my mom a blanket for Mother's Day because she was in the hospital and was cold.
Is it bad that I'm laughing?
No, because I laughed at it because I was like,
Mhm.
I was gonna make you a sweatshirt, but then I realized this makes more sense. So your sweatshirt you can just have.
It was like I was gonna get Ben the Garfield smoking a pipe like on a hoodie, but I was like Ben doesn't really wear hoodies. Like, I'm not gonna get him a hoodie. I'm gonna get him a tank top. He wears tank tops all the time. So I get it for him, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna give me a hoodie." I was like, "You don't wear hoodies."
Yeah, I would have worn that hoodie.
Yeah, that's a classic one. I would have worn that one. Okay, well, you buy it then, douchebag.
What do I have to do? Do I get like the day off now on Father's Day?
No, but you do get Memorial Day off.
Well, that's my dad's birthday, so that's fun.
Wow, another double whammy.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing the service thingy on the 31st because that would have been his birthday, and a lot of times that would be Memorial Day. So
Wait, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Memorial Day is this upcoming Monday, and then
yeah,
okay, yeah. I was like, wait
Mhm.
a minute. Like my brain was like calculating, something is wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
I just have the beginning of the week, the end of the week. That's on me.
Well.
Well, boys, I can feel it happening. None of us have the juice for it. Do we want to cut this show a little early?
I don't mind.
Because
I'm
I'm
probably
Me
going
either.
straight to bed.
yeah, I think we're all feeling it. Hey, we're back though, ladies and gentlemen. We're fucking back. Make sure you
We
check.
made it.
We made it. We're here. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube. We'll have a short pre-show for this episode. Maybe probably not. If I include the pre-show,
Yeah.
it'll be about an
Just-
hour.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
give him the whole schmeal deal,
The
smacking
whole shebang.
Yeah.
bang.
deal. That thing you
Yeah,
always
all
say.
2 inches.
Give him that.
The full meal deal, the full enchilada.
Yeah,
Well,
Cinco de Mayo,
This-
Cinco de Drinko. But
Cinco de
this-
Plinko.
This sticky lumpia.
yeah, that for this
Yeah.
episode, this edition of my show. Good night, universe.
Ducks.
Good night. Go to bed.
Yeah,
8
go
hours.
to bed.
Go-
Fuck.
Go to bed.
Go
Go
to
Rogan.
bed.
Brush your teeth.
Go to bed.
Oh,
Do your
I'll
night
have to-
routine.
I'll have to send you the Joe Rogan clip.
Oh yeah. Just send it to the old email there. I'm gonna let this ride for another minute or so.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. That way I play
Mhm.
credits and stuff.
Robin Miller as himself.
Maybe we